that Daddy made sure of. You never take me anywhere because you're always gone.
Loretta Lynn stood alone on stage, staring down the crowd at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. The year was 1960, and no one knew that this unassuming woman in a homemade dress was about to change country music forever. She opened her mouth to sing, and a voice that would echo through generations filled the room. Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter. From a one-room cabin in Kentucky's coal country to the glittering stages of Nashville, Loretta Lynn's journey reads like a Hollywood script, except every word of it is true. She married at 15, had 4 children by 20, and taught herself to play guitar between diaper changes. With nothing but raw talent and an unflinching ability to tell her truth, she would become the most groundbreaking female artist in country music history. In an era when women were expected to sing about heartbreak and happiness, Loretta dared to sing about birth control, double standards, and women's rights. Her songs weren't just music, they were ammunition in a cultural revolution that would change America forever. This is the story of how a coal miner's daughter became the queen of country music, and in doing so, gave voice to generations of women who had never been heard before. Let us take you back to where it all began, in the mountains of Kentucky, where a young girl's dreams would echo far beyond the coal dust of her hometown. Early life deep in the heart of Butcher Holler, Kentucky, on April 14, 1932, Loretta Webb was born into a world defined by coal dust and hardship. Her father, Melvin Webb, earned $3 for each ton of coal he mined, barely enough to feed his 8 children. Their home, a rustic cabin with newspaper-covered walls, stood as a testament to their modest means. Yet within those humble walls, young Loretta found warmth in the sound of her mother Clara's songs and the close-knit bonds of family life. "We were poor, but we had love," Loretta would later sing, capturing the essence of her childhood. The Webb family survived on homegrown vegetables, game hunting, and her mother's resourceful homemaking. In the evenings, the sound of mountain music filled their home as her father played the banjo and her mother sang traditional songs that would later influence Loretta's musical style. Education was a luxury the Webb children could rarely afford. Loretta attended the one-room schoolhouse in Butcher Holler when she could, but household responsibilities often took precedence. By age 14, she was already helping to care for her younger siblings and learning the harsh realities of mountain life. Everything changed when she met Oliver Doolittle Lynn at a pie social. She was barely 15 when they married in 1948, and within a year, they left Kentucky for the logging community of Custer, Washington. The young bride, still a child herself, became a mother at 16. By the time she was 20, Loretta had 4 children, living in a world far removed from her mountain home. These early years shaped not just Loretta's character, but her future music. The authenticity in her songwriting would come from these experiences, the joys and struggles of young love, the challenges of early motherhood, and the pride and pain of her humble beginnings. As she would often say, "You have to live a life to write about it," and Loretta Lynn had already lived several lifetimes' worth of experiences before her musical journey began. Little did anyone know that this coal miner's daughter, now a young wife and mother, was about to embark on a path that would revolutionize country music and inspire generations to come. Rise to fame. The road to stardom began in an unexpected place, the kitchen of a small Washington state farmhouse. With a $6 harmony guitar purchased by her husband Doolittle, Loretta taught herself to play while her children slept. Her journey from local performer to country music legend started at small venues around Washington state, where she fronted her own band, the Trailblazers. "I never thought of myself as a singer," Loretta would later recall. "I was just a mother trying to make a few extra dollars." But Doolittle saw something special in his wife's talent. He began promoting her tirelessly, sending homemade recordings to radio stations and pestering local venue owners for bookings. His persistence paid off when Canadian investors from Zero Records heard her perform at a talent contest. In 1960, her first single, I'm a Honky Tonk Girl, became her ticket to Nashville. The promotion strategy was pure grassroots. Loretta and Doolittle drove across the country, stopping at every country radio station they could find. She would later remember, "We slept in the car and ate bologna sandwiches. That's how bad we wanted it." The song climbed the charts, and soon Loretta found herself on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. Her authentic voice and honest songwriting caught the attention of the Wilburn brothers, who took her under their wing. Through their connections, she signed with Decca Records and began working with legendary producer Owen Bradley, the man who had helped shape Patsy Cline's career. Under Bradley's guidance, Loretta's sound evolved, but she never lost the raw honesty that set her apart. Her breakthrough came with songs that spoke directly to the experiences of working-class women. She wasn't afraid to tackle controversial subjects: infidelity, birth control, double standards, topics that other female artists wouldn't touch. The country music establishment didn't know quite what to make of this bold new voice, but audiences, particularly women, heard their own lives reflected in her music. As her friend and mentor Patsy Cline had advised her, "Girl, if you can't say it, you can't feel it, and if you can't feel it, you can't sing it." By the mid-1960s, Loretta Lynn was no longer just a coal miner's daughter. She was becoming the voice of a generation of women, and her next chapter would prove even more revolutionary. Career peak and major events. The late 1960s and 1970s marked Loretta Lynn's ascension to country music royalty. In 1966, she released Don't Come Home a-Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind, a bold statement about marital relationships that became her first #1 hit and the first by a female country artist to sell over 500,000 copies. The song's success proved that audiences were ready for honest, unflinching portrayals of women's experiences. Her partnership with Conway Twitty created one of country music's most successful duos. Together, they recorded hits like After the Fire Is Gone and Lead Me On, earning multiple Grammy nominations and Country Music Association awards. Their chemistry was undeniable, their harmonies perfect, and their stage presence electric. Coal Miner's Daughter, released in 1970, became more than just a song. It became her anthem. The autobiographical lyrics captured America's heart, leading to her best-selling autobiography of the same name. When Hollywood came calling, Sissy Spacek's Oscar-winning portrayal of Loretta in the 1980 film cemented her status as a cultural icon. During this period, Loretta was releasing hit after hit. Fist City, You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man, and The Pill showcased her fearless approach to controversial topics. When radio stations banned The Pill for its frank discussion of birth control, it only increased her popularity. As she explained, "I wrote about real life. Every song I wrote, except for one or two, were true stories." Her touring schedule was relentless, often performing 250 shows per year. She was the first woman in country music to receive a certified gold album for Don't Come Home a-Drinkin', and earned every major award in country music. In 1972, she became the first woman to win the Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year award. The coal miner's daughter had reached heights beyond her wildest dreams, but success came with its own price. As the spotlight grew brighter, the personal challenges mounted, testing her strength and resilience in ways she never expected. Personal struggles and challenges. Behind the glittering stage lights and platinum records, Loretta Lynn faced battles that tested her resilience. Her marriage to Doolittle, while enduring, was marked by his alcoholism and infidelity. "He never hit me one time that I didn't hit him back twice," she would say with characteristic frankness. Yet she stayed, later explaining, He thought I was something special, and I'd never had that before. The demands of fame took their toll. Exhaustion became a constant companion as she balanced recording, touring, and raising 6 children. In 1973, she collapsed on stage during a performance, leading to multiple hospitalizations. The pressure to maintain her success while managing her family life pushed her to the breaking point. Tragedy struck in 1984 when her eldest son, Jack Benny Lynn, died at age 34 while trying to ford the Duck River on horseback. The loss devastated Loretta, and she withdrew from public life for several months. "It's the worst thing that can happen to a mother," she said. "I lost my right arm when I lost my son." Her own health struggles mounted. A series of injuries and surgeries forced her to cancel tours. In the early 1990s, she began experiencing symptoms of exhaustion and was prescribed medication, leading to a brief but intense battle with addiction to prescription pills. With characteristic determination, she fought her way back to sobriety. Through it all, Doolittle remained her anchor, despite their tumultuous relationship. When he died in 1996, after years of diabetes and heart problems, Loretta faced her deepest period of depression. They had been married for 48 years. "I miss him so much," she would say. "I miss fighting with him, and I miss loving him." These personal struggles found their way into her music, adding depth and authenticity to her songs. Each challenge seemed to make her voice stronger, her lyrics more poignant. As she often said, "When you write about what you know, you never run out of songs." The Queen of Country music proved that true strength isn't about avoiding falls, but about getting back up, time and time again. Final days. Even in her later years, Loretta Lynn's creative spirit burned bright. Her 2004 collaboration with Jack White on Van Lear Rose introduced her to a new generation of fans. The album showcased her undimmed talent and earned her 2 Grammy Awards, proving that her voice remained as powerful as ever. Despite suffering a stroke in 2017 and a broken hip in 2018, Loretta continued to create music. Her 2018 album, Wouldn't It Be Great, demonstrated her enduring artistry. "As long as I can sing, I'm going to sing," she declared, and she kept that promise until the end. In her final years at her beloved ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, Loretta remained surrounded by family and music. She continued to receive visitors and share stories from her remarkable life. On October 4th, 2022, the coal miner's daughter took her final bow, passing away peacefully in her sleep at age 90. The news of her passing sparked an outpouring of tributes from across the music world. Fellow artists, from Dolly Parton to Carrie Underwood, shared stories of how she had inspired them. Her death marked the end of an era in country music, but her influence lives on in every female artist who dares to tell her truth through song. Legacy and impact. Loretta Lynn's impact on country music extends far beyond her 50 studio albums and 24 #1 singles. She blazed a trail for female artists to sing about their authentic experiences, breaking down barriers and challenging social norms. Her fearless approach to controversial topics changed what was possible in country music. As Nashville's music evolved, her influence remained constant. From Miranda Lambert to Casey Musgraves, generations of female artists cite her as their inspiration. Her songs continue to resonate because they speak to universal truths about love, struggle, and resilience. More than just a musician, Loretta Lynn became an American icon, representing the possibility that talent, determination, and authenticity can lift a coal miner's daughter to the heights of stardom. Her legacy isn't just in her music, it's in the doors she opened and the boundaries she broke for those who followed.